Chapter 5. The bar was too bright and too loud, and there were too many television sets blaring a local baseball game for Malik to gather his thoughts. A hollow crack resonated through the room as the hitter drove a ball into the midfield. The locals cheered and clinked glasses. Malik was used to being the sharpest-dressed bloke in any given room, but now he blended seamlessly with the sloppy tourists. He was underdressed even for a dive bar in Santo Domingo, not that he cared. On duty or not, he was going to down a few well-deserved pints and was going to do it in flip-flops, a loose-fitting tank top, and neon green board shorts. Physically, he was in good shape. By the time a rescue copter had reached Finn's yacht, Malik's wounds had healed. His ear and missing fingers had regrown, and the cavernous hole in his shoulder had mended itself quite nicely. He wished he could have said the same for his suit. A helicopter had landed and 6 officers spilled out, guns at the ready. Flashing their badges was enough to assure the Dominican government they were friendly, or at least friendly enough for them to hold their fire. Whenever law enforcement showed up to discover a mountain of bullet-riddled corpses, there were bound to be questions. The officer in charge radiated with a nervous tension, but Malik allayed his anxieties with a quick compulsion. A click-click-click of his watch was all it took. Rotating the dial around the face set the techno-alchemy charm in motion. From there, it took only a few reassuring words. "Relax, mi amigo. We're all on the same side." He wished he'd thought of this earlier. Considering how hostile the guards were, it probably wouldn't have been effective, though. Compulsion charms were finicky at the best of times and were hardly an exact science. Not that techno-alchemy ever was. The subject needed to be open to conversation in order for the charm to take root. Once a target was switched into fight or flight mode, their mind was already too clouded. They boarded the rescue copter and hitched a ride back to land. Malik and Seifert didn't speak during the flight, and thanks to the charm, no one asked them any follow-up questions. With his suit tattered and bloody, Malik was forced to purchase the nearest clothing available, shower off at a cheap motel, and wait for further instructions from the Pentagon. Wardrobe-destroying shootouts aside, the worst part of being a Father Division agent was, hurry up and wait. He was bored, but thankfully they'd located a pub, and beer cures boredom. Malik raised his glass. To a job half done. "I'm not going to drink on a mission," Seifert said. "Of course you're not, you insufferable jit." "Well," Malik sighed, "I suppose I'll have to drink enough for the both of us. Lucky for you, I'm a highly trained secret agent, excellent at marksmanship, stealth, and imbibing alcohol." The rapid-fire healing was an unfortunate buzzkill when it came to a night out at the bar. It took 4 times as many drinks to feel even the slightest bit tipsy, which was both time-consuming and expensive. It also required an embarrassing number of trips to the men's room. While Malik emptied his glass, Seifert jotted notes in a small leather-bound book. Confirmed kills, 9. Total deceased, 12. Method of execution, GSW, 7. Bladed weapon, 3. Broken neck, 1. Strangulation, 1. "To be clear," Seifert inquired, "you shot all 3 of the guards on the main deck, correct?" Malik offered a nod in mid-gulp. "And that was the kill shot in each case? No follow-up methods of execution?" "I rarely miss," Malik said. 3 shots, 3 kills. At that range, it was all but assured. "And when you opened fire on the second deck, did you hit anyone?" Malik guessed that Seifert had been 30 feet away when he pulled the trigger, and at a gun range, those were automatic bullseyes. He could cluster tight groupings into a paper target with ease at that distance. Any decent shooter could. But not today. Seifert had evaded every shot, apparently without even knowing he'd done it. "No," Malik said. "I tried to offer you some assistance, but the sun was in my eyes." Seifert jotted some more notes. "Yeah, I'm sure that was the reason." Then his phone vibrated. He yanked it from his inside pocket, angling it away from Malik. Malik leaned over, trying to sneak a peek at the screen. HQ? No, it's personal. Seaford pushed away from the bar, scraping his stool across the floor. I'll be back. He disappeared into the mob of tourists. Incoming message. Secure link request, code orange, 07762. Link secured. Cho, status report. Seaford, we had to take out some private security on Finn's yacht. 12 altogether. Former military, if I had to guess. Well trained. With that many hired guns, I'm convinced Finn is hiding something. Cho, and what about Malik? Seaford, he's still alive. Cho, I know he's still alive because he checked in with HQ 20 minutes ago. What I'd like to know is why. Seaford, the yacht was a war zone. Between the bullets flying and the bodies falling overboard, I didn't have a chance to do the job. Cho, chaos creates opportunities. It would have been the perfect moment to injure him badly enough to tie an anchor to his leg and drop him to the ocean floor. That's what we discussed. Seaford, I'll look for another window. Cho, this was your window, John. Windows don't get wider or more readily available. You hesitated. Seaford, I'm biding my time. Cho, don't forget our arrangement. Once Malik is out of the picture, his director chair opens up. I can put in a word with the secretary. It's as good as yours. Seaford, I know what's at stake. I'll get it done. Cho, see to it that you do. I can't have the position for myself. I need a team player in that chair. You're a team player, aren't you, John? Seaford, I'm your cleanup hitter, and I never miss. I'll report back later. Cho, I'm going to be monitoring things to ensure you don't get cold feet, which includes geo-tracking every step you take. Seaford, I wouldn't expect anything less. Cho, come back alone or don't come back at all. Best of luck. Seaford glanced over his shoulder. Malik was at the bar, lining up a long row of shots. He was challenging the bartender to a competition, and from the looks of it, she was more than happy to play along. Satisfied that he had a moment to himself, Seaford used his fingernails to dig the SIM card out of his phone. Then he snapped it in half.